Good morning. Welcome to AVNewsCast.com.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, you guys. It's 8:02 in the morning. It's the 15th of August, and today is the first day of the Antelope Valley Fair.
Yes! Oh, I'm chomping at the bit. Can't wait to get out there.
Today is the first day. Yeah. Well, before we even get into that,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of news coming out of Ferguson.
Woof.
Yeah, so there is.
Man.
Yeah.
So they decided this morning to release the name of the officer.
Right.
And they also mentioned that the officer has been taken out of town.
Yeah, I was going to say witness protection program.
Yeah.
Really? That's what you do? You gun down somebody and you get a vacation out of town?
No, it's not a vacation, but it's for his own protection.
But how come most people that shoot someone and there's a cloud of suspicion as to whether or not you commit murder, you go to jail?
Well, okay, you can't go to jail, and first there has to be an investigation, then you have to be indicted, then you have to be arrested.
No, you go to jail and you get released on your own recognizances, or you get bailed out, and then all of those things happen. You don't get to go out of town.
But wait a second. How can you put him in jail prior to an investigation and prior to charges being filed?
Well, I don't understand why it's taken so long. In typical cases, it doesn't take a week to 10 days for someone to assume that you're guilty. If it was a layperson, the assumption of guilt would have been already laid out, right?
Okay, well, they're going, because it was an officer-involved shooting, they have to go through an investigation.
No, what it is because it's an officer-involved shooting, we have to do as much as we possibly can to protect the officer. I mean, look at how long it took for them to come out with, there was a robbery around the corner, strong armed robbery around the corner. So this is the motivation as to why he came up to the young man in the first place. And we're just going to allude to that. We're not going to really tell you. I mean, I heard the press conference this morning, and he just was like, there was a robbery, a short distance from here, where two adults stole some cigars, strong arm robbery. Here's your package. So you're to allude, and the media is even commenting on this, that you're to allude that all of this is tied in, and even if this man stole some cigars, is the protocol to shoot him with his hands up? I mean, I just don't get, like, in the police manual, I would love to speak to a cop that would actually just, like, be really frank about it. In the police manual, what is the protocol if you shoot somebody with their hands up trying to give up? Is that a protocol for you to be able to have a little vacation out of town? Let's just, suppress a little bit. It just stinks to high heaven. When you are involved in a crime, and it was you and I, for instance, the first thing that they want to do is question us and separate us immediately, so that the story doesn't get added on, omitted, embellished, whatever. Well, look at what's going on. The police in this area had a whole week to come up with their game plan. And now here it is. Now let's outline it. How do we protect him? And now on top of this man gets to go out of town?
Okay. Here's what happened, though, okay? When Anonymous 2 days ago released the name of the wrong officer.
It was yesterday. Mm-hmm.
When they released
two wrong names.
The wrong officer, the name of the person they released received tons of death threats, and that person is not even on the police force. Okay.
All right.
Between that and the FBI bulletin that went out that the Black Panthers had come into town and they were organizing rioting, they, I'm sure, felt that the best thing to do for the town to calm things down was to get this guy out of town.
Really? And that makes sense to you?
Well, here's the thing. They took a number of steps, okay, in Ferguson, okay? The governor immediately sent in the state police to take over the town. So the state
Not immediately, Steve. Not immediately. That was last night. And everything changed once he took the responsibility off of the local police. Once the local police were pulled off and the state police came in, there was no more issue.
Well, yeah, there was no more issue because, correct, for a number of reasons, okay? One, because, right, they took the local law enforcement out and they sent in the Missouri State Highway Patrol. They put Captain Ron Johnson in charge, who is an African-American and grew up in that town.
Which I don't even understand why that's not offensive to them. Because it's almost like, here's a bone, here's one of your people, now feel comfortable. It's like, you don't need to be black to be able to understand that this shit stinks. Why couldn't anybody in that police force say, you know what, I understand you guys are upset? Why did it need to be somebody black? Would you have to be black?
Well, Al Sharpton was screaming about how few black people there were on the police force, so...
Well, and that's true.
And this was in retaliation.
You have a police force that looks like the community, and there's only 3 of them on there. I get that.
That's typical, though, of that's the standard for small towns. That's within the same ratio as small towns everywhere in the United States. Larger towns have a more diverse police force, but smaller towns is typically like 30% of the force is black.
Well, this is not 30%. There's only 3 people. There was only 3 black cops on that force, on the whole thing.
Out of how many?
But I'm not sure out of how many. But my point is, you don't need to be black to be able to understand that this does not look right. That's my point. You don't need to, let's get a black guy, just give him a black guy so that they can be appeased. Why is that the case? I'm certain that there's tons of white people out there, because I've seen the protesters that believe that there's something fishy with the whole story, and that the fact of the matter is the guy had his hands up and was shot down 4 to 6 times. I don't even get why they can't figure out how many bullets was in the man's body.
So how did you get 4 to 6 when the coroner hasn't even released how many times he was shot?
Oh, CNN said it this morning, just like 10 minutes ago.
But the coroner hasn't even released that yet.
I don't know, Steve. I'm just telling you what CNN reported.
Another woman claimed he was shot 10 times.
Well, I'm relaying what CNN reported, so I'm not sure where they got that information. I tend to believe that they're pretty accurate with what they put out. You know, they're not trying to just arbitrarily put out stuff. I don't know where they got it from. I don't know. Maybe it's in the report that was released in the press conference that was just like 20 minutes ago. I'm not sure where they got it from, to be honest.
Okay.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like, somebody black has to be able to come talk to me? Because nobody else, no other color is going to see this as crazy.
No, but probably what they're doing, and they're kind of in a screwed position, because no matter what they do for damage control,
right?
Well, because they screwed up from the beginning.
Right.
They didn't deal with it right from the beginning. Do you know that last night, the last report that I heard, the family of the deceased still had not been contacted by the police officer's department to let them know what had happened with the boy's body, or whatever their account of the incident was. Last night, they still had not been given a common courtesy call or someone knocking on the door to say, "Listen, let me tell you what we believe happened."
In the course of an investigation, I think that would be way outside protocol to even do that.
What?
Yeah.
You're not going to come to my house and tell... So you get to just kill my family and not tell me? Like, what is the protocol for that,
Let me finish.
Okay, go
During
ahead.
the course of their investigation, I don't think so. Now, let's say, hypothetically, that at the end of the day today, they deem that officer was 100% at fault. I'm willing to bet that they would make a phone call to the family before they went public and indicted or arrested this guy and let them know that this is what we are doing, this is how we are moving forward.
Well, it's very interesting that you say that, because I watch a very popular show called 48 Hours, and every time I watch that show, I see the police officers going to the family's house and saying, we believe that so-and-so did whatever, and we're looking for so-and-so. So they give them information. So I'm not understanding why you're saying that wouldn't be the case in this situation, because you see it all the time. They say, look, we're looking for this guy because we think it was this guy, and you know, this is the deal.
Okay, so you're saying really, and maybe you're not wrong that the police department should reach out to the family and say, hey, this is what we're doing, and if we find it such and such, we are definitely going to prosecute.
Something. I mean, it's absolutely from every corner, and you guys would have to enlighten me if you see it a different way. It looks like they're doing whatever they possibly can to protect this officer.
You know what? At this point right now, I think they're just trying to complete their investigation. I don't think they're really interested in protecting anyone that's done something wrong, especially with Obama making the statements last night that we must have justice, and calling the governor. I think they're moving as fast
but
as they possibly can.
Is it normal protocol to have a suspect placed out of town? That's normal protocol? I don't understand. I just don't. Because if you're assumed to be guilty, if there's an inkling that you're guilty, the first thing they say is don't leave town. Second thing they say is you're going to get arrested, you know, regardless of whatever the situation is. There's some kind of booking happening. I mean, is it a thought that he can't be held accountable for this shooting? Like, is there a legal angle that would justify this cop shooting this man like this?
Perhaps not. And the fact that they released his name, to me, says they're moving closer and closer.
Yeah, it's kind of telling.
To either indicting him or what have you.
And so the thing to do is move him out of town. That's just ridiculous.
It might not be the kind of move that you think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Well, if he was arrested, he'd be safe too. Right?
Yeah.
Because the jail's are safe.
Yeah, and maybe for his own protection, you know, maybe he is, you know, currently housed somewhere and he's under guard.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna request that the next time I see a criminal go to jail, and it's up in the air as far as whether or not he's really guilty. Let's request that. Let's request, private housing somewhere under guard, because it's just bullshit. Because at every corner, it's all about there's justice for all and justice for us. And when it comes to the police, we're going to work it out the way we need to work it out. We're going to let you know stuff the way we want you to know stuff, when we want you to know stuff, how we want you to know stuff.
You know, do I believe that they have enough information and they have all the information that they need at this point to be able to move forward and prosecute if that's the right course of action? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so what's the if? What's the if? They knew the minute they pulled the body off the floor. Was there a gun around him? No. Where were the bullets? In the front. Are there witnesses that says that the hands were up, trying to give himself up? Yes. What else? Anybody else would have been under the jail by now, Steve.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
I had heard during the press conference the chief of police of Ferguson say that the officer went to the hospital for injuries he received during a struggle.
Yeah. Right. I heard that too.
Okay.
I heard that his face was swollen.
Pardon me?
I heard that his face was swollen.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just saying. There was some sort. They're doing some sort of an investigation. There was some sort of a struggle. Was it warranted for him to shoot him? From all the information that we know at this point, no.
Yeah, you're supposed to give force to you're supposed to respond with the same force. If he doesn't have a weapon and the guy's running, you're chasing him, you're saying stop or I'll shoot, not shooting as you run, like the witnesses are saying. The witnesses are attesting that he's shooting as he's running after this guy. He hits him, or it appears that he was hit. His body jolts. He turns around, his hands are up, I'm giving up. That should have been the end of it. It wouldn't have even made the news.
You're right. Based on that account.
Everything, I mean, that is enough. It's just disgusting.
Based on what you just said, you're right.
And that is it. There's nothing else to it. Okay, maybe he did steal cigars from the store. We don't know for sure, but let's give him that. Okay, so he stole cigars. Where is it justified to execute this man? Because that's what happened. He was executed. In the street.
Point, they are so far under the microscope. They have to finish their investigation, whatever it is that they have to do.
But what is there to finish, honestly? What is there to finish? I mean, how many people do you need to come up? What is there to finish? I mean, look at Gabriel's mother and the boyfriend. They didn't do much. He was dead. He looked abused. They arrested them, and it was a done deal. Like, A, B, C. Like, what is it? What else? What are they thinking might come up that's going to justify it that wasn't already there?
I understand what you're saying, because if it was me on the street and I had shot somebody during their investigation, I'd already be behind bars.
Yes, Steve. Yes. As they gathered more information, your behind would be behind bars as they finished their investigation.
Okay. When law enforcement is involved, there's an investigation first.
Yeah, and that's not right. Because the sentiment is that they're above the law. And then people constantly are saying, why is it that police have a bad reputation? This is why, Steve. Police have a bad reputation because of things like this. Because when you choke out somebody and the man is dead on the ground, all the other cops don't even look fazed by it. So it makes you think, well, damn, what else do you guys do that this isn't fazing you? Everybody around, I mean, I would be moved to try to help this man. And not one of them, I mean, there's sidebar conversations. Why wouldn't you think something's wrong with the police department? Why wouldn't you think that there's a culture that means that black life doesn't mean as much as a white life? Because you don't see the videos all the time about this happening to anybody else. I saw yesterday on Facebook there was this white gentleman that was pulled over by his police. They open up the car door. I guess they're trying to tell him to get out the car, and he's being belligerent. He doesn't want to get out the car. So they yank him out the car, and they taser him. And I'm thinking in my head, well, he would have been shot dead if he was black. Taser? They act like the taser does not come out for black people. Just the bullet.
Okay. I know the video that you're talking about, and you can't compare those two incidents.
No, what I'm saying to you is that you see things similar to that when you put a black face in it. You don't see a taser, Steve. You see bullets, or you see 9 cops beating the hell out of the person. But you certainly don't see one cop pulling the guy out, and him tasering the other guy. You never see that. Show me one.
Okay. We could go back and forth on this for a long time.
I mean, I don't understand. You really don't think that that's true?
I'm not saying that it's not true.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, because you said we can go back and forth, though.
We can go back and forth because I get that you're upset, and so are millions of other people.
Aren't you upset?
Yeah, let me finish. Okay?
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay? That this officer has not been arrested. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. At this point right now, today, we don't know all there is to know.
Oh, okay.
Let me just finish.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going through whatever their investigation is. Do they do that on 99 out of 100 situations? Almost 100% of the time, if you are law enforcement, there's always an internal investigation on an officer-involved shooting.
Mm-hmm.
For the people on the street, you get arrested, and then they investigate.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Why are the police less human than the people that walk the streets? It shouldn't be. It's ridiculous. They are not above the law. They absolutely are not above the law. They should be absolutely... I'm sorry?
I don't think anyone's saying that he's above the law.
You are above the law if you're not being treated the same as anybody else.
Okay. When you have the Attorney General and the President of the United States involved in this situation, you gotta believe that whatever needs to be done is going to be done in as swiftly as possible, right?
Because you had to get to that point to get something done. You got to call the DOJ. The police can't police themselves, Steve. That's the bottom line. The police cannot police themselves. It's almost like when you go into some family's home and your son does something wrong. There are going to be some parents that will never see that their child's done anything wrong. And then, yes, you did it wrong, and you're going to be held accountable for it. It's the same thing. Police cannot police themselves.
Okay. Well, in this situation, they're going to go through their investigation. They could be done in an hour. They could have enough information by 5 o'clock today. It could be another week.
Oh, yeah. It's just disgusting.
Okay. That's the way it's going to go. And that's what I meant by we could debate this, back and forth for an hour and a half.
Well, I don't see a debate. Yeah, they're going to absolutely do what they want to do. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we need to take this as an example that the police cannot police themselves. When something like this happens, another entity needs to come in and take control instead of letting them go into their little police station and figure out how the pieces come together and then spoon-feed us what they think that we need to hear so that we can be pacified. The other thing is that these cameras need to be on every single one of these cops. Every single cop, all the time.
I saw your Facebook post on that last night, and I would have agreed and I would have made a comment, but I didn't, only because somebody else made another comment.
Oh, I didn't see a comment.
Yeah.
Well, what was the comment?
I don't remember what it was, but whatever it was, I like what you said, but I just didn't like what they had to say, so I didn't get involved. But I do, I absolutely agree that at this point in time, the world has changed so much that I don't see any reason why. Because we've got dash cams, and there's a reason we had those.
Right.
Now we need officer cams.
Yes. We totally do. Because we're all human. We are all human, and we are all prone to make mistakes. And that's the bottom line. And unless we have somebody else making sure that we're doing our jobs right, we're not doing our jobs right. Because, minorities are not coming out their ass with all these assumptions that we're not being treated correctly. These are just not fairy tales that no one really understands or no one ever sees the proof of the pudding. We see the proof of the pudding. We see the differences. So let's just deal with it. Let's just say, you know what? Let's just make sure that everybody has a camera on so we can be transparent. There you go. That way, when the prosecution wants to put together their case, they have everything they need. That would make it even better for the prosecution, wouldn't it? All the information would be on the camera.
Sure. And we know locally that the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department, they've been looking at that now for about a year and trying to roll it out. LAPD's got it out in certain areas, and they're trying to integrate it. Little towns like Ferguson, I don't know how some of these little towns are even going to pay for that stuff, but it'd be a great idea.
Yeah. It would be. Absolutely.
Obviously the chief of police didn't have much to say. He didn't want to talk about the investigation.
He sure
did.
did.
Talk about what is the next step. The FBI is taking a lead on this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they have the resources to move as fast as they need to move. And they're not...
Maybe that's what they should... Maybe the Department of Justice should create, a small, or hopefully a small task force, but a small task force that just goes out to all these officer-involved shootings, and they take the lead. That way, there's nothing misconstrued. We can hope that the DOJ doesn't have a vested interest to protect anybody, and it can be done. It can be done outside of that station.
Well, it's not a bad thought, considering that in certain instances, like what happened here in Ferguson, or what happened here in Los Angeles, on Monday, is clearly a violation of someone's civil rights to get shot down in cold blood for no reason.
Yeah.
So maybe it isn't a bad idea to have the DOJ involved.
I think so.
Okay.
The bottom line is across the nation, some towns, and I would love for it to be the Antelope Valley, needs to take the lead on trying to make better race relations and better relationships within all the communities for which they serve. And they need to take a step back and understand that people have a bad taste in their mouth in regards to the people that are supposed to protect and serve. It's not so much anymore. So do something about it. Let's just not have, the next day, same as the day before. Do something about it. You know that there's a problem.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see what happens out of Ferguson.
Yeah, we're going to see it.
That's all we can do. Okay. I'm pivoting. Can I pivot?
Yeah, pivot.
Okay. I'm going to pivot. Yesterday in Lancaster, a guy by the name of Jonathan Macy, 31 years old, was arrested for molesting kids.
Yeah.
He is a teacher.
Oh, of course.
And an employee at Desert Christian School.
Oh, my God.
Okay. And also, which is part of Grace Chapel.
Yeah.
Sheriff's Department started investigating this on August 5th.
So, did they alert the kids in the school when they found out about this? August 5th?
Yes, and they've been talking to kids, and
okay.
They were alerted by one person, and then they discovered another victim, and then yesterday they arrested Jonathan Macy.
Wow.
31-year-old white guy. He works both as a teacher and a maintenance guy.
Wow.
People have been commenting, on Facebook that they know him, and they were very surprised.
Why?
They always say.
They never would have expected it. It doesn't usually.
But you know what? The thing is that we never expect the racist or the child molester. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You never expect them. So don't, people should stop saying that. because it makes you feel like you believe that you know what they look like, and you don't. That's part of their charm.
And very often it's someone you know or someone you're familiar with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And here, you're with a school employee, and the kids knew him.
And he molested these children on school campus?
At the church, actually.
Oh.
Oh, wow. That's even nicer.
Yeah. The acts of molestation occurred while the children were at Grace Chapel for Sunday school services.
Oh.
Sick.
Yeah.
So you put your kid in the Sunday school program, you believe, oh, my babies are as safe as they'll ever be.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And this is what happens. Man, I tell you.
And that's what happened. The world has changed. We didn't have all that when I was a kid.
You did.
Yeah,
you just
didn't
hear
get
about
publicized, yeah.
Nothing's new under the sun.
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't know. There were rumors yesterday that Tony Stewart...
I mean, listen, the Catholic Church, that was the thing they did.
That goes way back.
And that's been since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So it certainly was happening when you was a toddler.
Yeah, that's at least 1,500 years tradition.
Yeah. I mean, really. They made resorts for them and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, look at what happened here in Los Angeles with the Catholic Church, and look at how much of that got swept under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
We'll never know the full extent.
What did you say, Jeff?
We'll never know the full extent.
Never. Because, there's tons of men that are just not going to admit to that. They're just not. And I totally get it. It's just so horrible. It's just so horrible. I mean, I know it sounds terrible for me to say, but for me, for a boy to be raped by a man is 10 times worse. And I know it sounds kind of kooky, but
I can see where you're coming from.
Away from it happening to a girl.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. It jacks the psyche in a different place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it's horrible.
Yes,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. Yesterday there were rumors that Tony Stewart, in view of everything that had happened, was going to permanently retire from motor racing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it's not a joke, because I thought it was very big of him, if that's the truth.
No, it's not the truth.
Oh.
That was put up by, that was reported by a website that's all satire like The Onion.
Mm.
Although he will not be racing at Michigan International Raceway on Sunday.
Right. Okay. Well, I think it would be really big of him to step down.
If it comes out that he was because of negligence or because of trying to spook the guy or get one up on him, he's not going to have much choice about retiring. There's possibilities of prison time there.
Well, can they? Because I thought it was different rules on that track.
Well, if you intentionally gun it, I mean it's negligent homicide, isn't it? If Steve's the legal guy.
Well, I mean, I think so, but he would have already been arrested by now. But something must be a little off because he's not arrested. If we would have hit somebody on the street, we would have been arrested. And he's not.
It's no different. It's no different than if you got some guy jaywalking, picking his nose, staring at you,
right,
and you gun the engine, and your foot kind of slips off the brake. How's it any different than that?
See, that I don't buy with the professional driver. But you're right. It's exactly the same. And that person would be arrested, and then they would investigate whether or not charges should be filed, blah, 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 blah. And in this case, he was not arrested. So I'm thinking there must be some kind of disclosures or releases that you're signing when you race. I don't know, because I don't know. I'm not into the racing thing at all.
There's no disclosure that says you can run somebody over.
So then why wouldn't he have already done that?
Well, I think that's a perfect example of do we know all there is to know? Fox Sports came out with...
The man was hit by the car. There's only one person in the car that was driving. What else do you need?
If you didn't see him, if you couldn't see him, Angelina, if you didn't see him until the last second, then it's an accident, isn't it?
Yes, but if you're on the street, you're still arrested.
So stop saying it's intentional.
I'm not saying it's intentional.
You are saying that.
No, I'm not. I'm saying if you're driving down the street and you hit somebody and you didn't see them, you're still arrested. Aren't you? Do you get to go home?
No, not necessarily. If you're driving down Palmdale Boulevard and the sun's in your eye and the guy's crossing in the middle of a block, not in a crosswalk, and you didn't see him,
you're not arrested.
You may not be arrested.
Steve, you're arrested. Jeff, aren't you arrested?
You'd certainly be taken for questioning.
There have been countless times when people have had accidents.
And it results in not being prosecuted. And has resulted in not being prosecuted. But you are definitely going down to the station.
Okay.
They're going to have a
Did he go down to the station?
He was questioned that night.
At the track?
I don't know where.
Well, there's also still the possibility that he's in that upper echelon of society.
Right, Jeff.
Is he getting special consideration because of the money he has and the handlers that are around him?
And the money that stands to be made by the people that, back him and want to see him stay out of, money talks.
What's the answer to that? Is he getting special consideration?
Probably.
Okay, that's my point. Because if it was me, you, or Jeff, we'd have been arrested, questioned, possibly coming back because your ass is going to jail.
Justin Bieber just the other day pled out to 2 stupid charges when he clearly could have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, but because of his handlers and the money he has, he didn't even have to appear in court.
But what was those charges? Not the toilet paper thing, right?
No, that was his DUI and everything that happened in Florida.
But he was arrested.
He was arrested.
I mean, this guy he's dead. And he was questioned and at home, being able to think about whether or not he wants to do the next race.
Yeah, and whether it's good for NASCAR to have him do another race?
Yeah, all of those options he's got that the average Joe would not have.
Because it took place on a racetrack.
Yeah, that's what we were asking, whether or not there's some kind of sign-off that you do that prohibits prosecution if you get killed on the track or something. I don't know. Has anybody ever went to jail from a track accident? Like when they hit another car and it blows up and somebody dies?
I wouldn't think so, and something that didn't look as intentional as this does.
Mm-hmm.
This looks intentional, and we know he's a hothead, and he's a showboater. And he just goes to these things to rub the other guy's nose in it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the video a zillion times. And the first few times I saw it, it looked like Tony Stewart tried to spook the guy and it got out of control, and the guy also got in the way of the car.
Right.
Fox Sports did an interesting thing yesterday, and they took a dirt track car, and they showed you the blind spots versus right to left, because these cars, are really meant to go around the left. You see a lot less directly in front and to the right than you do to the left.
Mhm.
But he was walking down the track when Tony Stewart was making his circle around there. There's a lot of left to see that.
That's true. He knows he's out the car.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, because, he's going at a fast pace, right? So
But you got to be, theoretically, you're trained as a professional driver to watch everything. You don't watch just 6 inches in front of your car. You got to scan the whole place. You got to know 10,000 ways to get out of a situation that hasn't even happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
To save your own life. So I find it hard to believe that he doesn't know he was there.
Well, but let's not forget, there was a car in front of Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
I saw that.
Tony
He
was
missed
looking
him.
at that car. Yeah, he did miss him.
He missed him.
But the guy was also higher on the track. But I don't know. I could tell you. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if there was a rule that said you're not going to be in trouble because you have no business on the track, because that makes sense to me. This is a racetrack. You should not be running hot-headed on the racetrack, getting out your car. Like, that's stupid.
And because of what happened yesterday in NASCAR, not just dirt track racing, but NASCAR now passed a rule, period, that you are, unless your car is on fire,
Right.
or smoke starts to fill the inside of the car,
Cabin area. Yeah.
you are never to get out of that car.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, you would think that would be a rule. But I get it, they're hot-headed and adrenaline is kicked up, and the
Way
crowd
too much
loves it when somebody
testosterone.
gets out the car and acts a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what he's known for. That's what he's known for.
That's what he was known for.
Yeah. Hey, we just recently, about a month ago, we had a Dickie's barbecue pit open here in Palmdale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have yet to try it.
Well, the food's good.
It's good.
Is it really? But is the line better? Because when you were telling me, I was like, I don't want to go.
I don't know. I haven't been back since the last time I waited 40
Oh,
minutes.
I might have to. I might have to take a bullet for you guys and check it out again.
Yeah, I want to. Where is it at exactly?
It's right over in the mall. Right
It's over by
next to,
Chipotle. Yeah.
By Chipotle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On Monday, a man and his wife went into Dickie's barbecue pit in Utah, and they ordered dinner, and she ordered an iced tea, and she took one sip of it, and then spit it out, and said to her husband, "I think I just drank acid."
Oh.
She
Like
didn't
LSD?
swallow it.
Oh.
Pardon me?
Like LSD?
No, it was cleaning solution.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was.
And isn't she in a coma now? Isn't she like...
From not
really-
even swallowing it, okay, it took 4 days, and yeah, she's in a coma.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Yeah. This is horrible. Like, what are they cleaning stuff with?
You know what? A person that worked at the restaurant mistook the cleaning product for sugar
Oh.
and accidentally mixed large quantities
Oh.
of it into the iced tea.
See why I don't drink sweet tea.
She was the only one that drank it. Thank God she was the only one.
She was the only one. It was an odorless chemical lye.
Oh.
That's an
Ooh.
ingredient in drain cleaner.
Oh. And I've known people that intentionally ingest lye.
Yeah, but hadn't even swallowed it.
Mm-mm. I used to know a guy, a Filipino guy, who was hooked on those betel nut leaves. And I watched him one time. He took this leaf, and he had this little container with this white paste in it. And he took his thumbnail out and smeared some of the white paste on the betel nut leaf. And then he sprinkled Copenhagen, the tobacco, in there, and rolled it up and stuck it in his lip. And he spit black. And I asked him what that white paste was, and he said, it's lye. It opens up the pores.
Yikes.
You know, and
That's insane.
Wow.
Crazy.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I did hear
Eat
that
your
story,
jaw.
and that's pretty damn bad because, but you're thinking, what happened to? I thought cleaning solutions were always colored,
Properly
fluorescent
marked.
colors so people know.
Skull and crossbones.
Yeah, and it being lime green, like something crazy, always. How could you have made that mistake?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You put the baking soda next to the Zyklon B. That's not a good thing.
No.
I have no idea. What do you think about the announcement that Robin Williams was suffering from Parkinson's disease?
That would explain a
It
lot
just
more.
makes it sadder.
Yep.
It just makes it sadder. The poor man has dealt with depression his entire life. Was even able to make a life out of himself despite the depression. And now he's got this. I mean, it's like, give me a break. I'm sure that's what he was saying. It's like, I can't even write a joke on this. It's just too terrible. It's just horrible. Horrible.
Yeah. Well,
remember that one movie that Robin Williams did that it was a serious part? And he was creepy as hell in the movie, but he was so good.
1 hour photo. That was great.
What was it called?
1 hour photo.
I got to see it again.
Oh, it was
I'm
awesome.
looking at Robin Williams, and I'm like, holy crap, are you talented? Because you're completely out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Completely.
That was a great movie. No, I got to
I'm
watch it
thinking,
again.
it's going to be funny, blah, 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 but it was not funny. There was no humor to him at all.
Not at all. That was a disturbing
Yeah,
movie.
Did you see that?
Uh-huh.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you got to see it.
Oh, you got to
It's disturbing.
see it. It's haunting.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it. Okay, well, I'll put that on my list.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That's not going anywhere.
I'll put it on my list.
Yeah.
So, are either one of you going to the Antelope Valley Fair that opens today at 4:00?
Oh, I'll be there.
Are you going tonight, Anthony?
No, I'm not going to go tonight. I'm planning on going on Monday and probably on Wednesday.
No, my friends from Frank
And I will
Williams
see
Insurance.
My kids ride the sheep.
My friends from Frank Williams Insurance put in 9 photos each and 4 baked goods. So they don't know how they did yet. So I got to slip in there and do an intelligence run and let them know where they placed.
Nice.
Oh.
So that's one of the things I'm doing. But I do want to broadcast from there.
Are you both going tonight?
I don't know whether I'm going tonight or not. I don't know. I haven't figured that out. I haven't figured that out yet.
I'm absolutely going to be there. I'm absolutely going to be there.
All right.
I'm unsupervised this weekend, so I can stay as long as I want.
Oh, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, then.
Lock your doors.
Did you happen to see the story that Los Angeles has put in free Wi-Fi service at 6 LA parks?
Huh.
No, that's nice.
Yeah, it is.
It is kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
The free Wi-Fi that they're,
Well, I bet the cell phone people hate that.
the Wi-Fi that they're rolling out, now all of Venice Beach will have free Wi-Fi.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Echo Park, Cabrillo Beach,
Mm-hmm.
Griffith Park Observatory,
Ooh,
Reseda Park, and Pershing Square.
nice.
Nice.
That's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier to take your kids to the park.
I think that's way cool.
Pershing Square, I have to get back down there and see if Clifton's is open again. Steve knows how I love that place. I heard that they opened it up again, that they were just refurbishing. Oh, I love that place. Have you ever been to Clifton's, Angie?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. It's just unreal. They tried to make it like the sequoias, like the redwood forest. It was done like in the 1930s, and then they didn't touch it since then. It's just amazing. Right. It's all trees and all through there, and there's like a stream that runs through the place, and there's a big moose with his nose rubbing. You feel like it. You feel like you are. It's right in the middle of downtown, and it's like stepping into the woods. I took Steve there.
Nice.
I used to eat there when I was a kid.
I love it.
I used to go there when I was a kid. The city of Santa Clarita yesterday started water rationing.
Uh-oh.
And announced that they will now fine residents $500.
Did you say that there was a restriction for the Horse Hills Water District that I'm thankfully not part of?
Yeah, oh, you're not?
No.
You checked?
Yes, I did.
How can you not be part of it when you're 2 miles away from their office? Not even.
I don't know. Leave me alone. Let it be.
Yeah, I had heard that Quartz Hill was, for the first violation, it was a fine. Maybe for the second, a larger fine. And for the third, they'll shut off your water.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's way out of control.
Yeah, it's like shutting off your air.
That is.
How do you shut off something that is a necessity for life?
Yeah.
Well, they do it if you don't pay, so yeah.
This is crazy. You better just charge me.
They do it if you don't pay, so what's the difference?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think when do you think is the right time to release the name of officers that are involved in shooting?
As soon as you know their name.
Makes sense to me.
I'm Los Angeles County Department of Public Works.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
LADWP, huh?
No, that's not DWP.
The county, yeah. That's what I am.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Leave us alone. I think that I think that it should be treated the same as any other potential crime. Honestly. No, I'll pull back a bit. I think that the DOJ needs to create a department that goes out for all officer-involved shootings. And they need to take the lead. And they need to talk to the public. And it needs to be something completely separate from the local agencies. That's the only way that I'm going to feel like there's no backdoor deals going on, or let's go in the office and figure out, what was going on in the neighborhood? What could we tie to this? And with every day that goes by, that's what you get the feeling of, that you're trying to make your case.
Well, LAPD, for instance, they have a whole separate division that it investigates every single officer involved shooting.
But it's still them.
Yeah,
still the fox guard in the head house.
Well, it's kind of them. You're not employed by the LAPD. You're employed by the police commission, and you work for the Office of Inspector General.
Yeah, it's still a little too close to me. I think you have to be completely, I work for DWP, and, I don't know, another completely different agency is handling it. Completely different pot of money, completely different. No benefits could ever be exchanged or ever be alluded to be exchanged if it's the DOJ. That's federal.
Would that be a step in restoring the public's perception?
I think so. Because right now, that's who the public goes to when they feel that they've been wrong. Oftentimes they don't go local anymore. They go, let me call the FBI, let me call DOJ.
Right. Well,
I mean, I think that in Missouri specifically, they did not want this to be a media circus. I mean, you saw the smoke bombs. There was a smoke bomb built in front of a media station, and then they went and they physically put down their lights and turned their cameras down. They didn't want this to be publicized.
Yeah, I know they didn't. And you notice President Obama...
suppression. And what is that?
and you notice President Obama even spoke about the 2 reporters that were arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saying at no time should reporters ever be arrested when they're trying to report the news.
Right. This is America. Yeah, you're talking about the incident inside of the McDonald's, right? And they tried to say that it was an incident that was inside of a McDonald's. Reporters were in there and they were trying to recharge their batteries and such, and SWAT came in and made them leave, and they were citing public safety and that they were closing the McDonald's, but they left the employees in the McDonald's. They just got everybody out and left the employees in there. So what the hell kind of public safety are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. And now, did you see, because you questioned me on that, did you see Associated Press and or USA Today? They were talking about Molotov cocktails, right?
I saw it on the USA Today.
Walter,
and I saw it on Fox News.
Yeah, Walter in my class
on CNN.
Walter in my class brought it up on several. MSNBC he found, or MSN he found it. Yeah. Which is another
weird thing, that you can go to different stations, different media outlets, and get completely different stories. Because when I turn on Fox, it was riots in Missouri. When I turn on CNN, protesters in Missouri.
Right. That's it. You're 100% right. And it's like that with... Right, and they'll put a different flavor on every news story, whether it's political, absolutely.
And it's sick. Yeah.
And, I never watch Fox News. I swear.
I do. Okay.
I don't.
I do, because I have to, and then my blood starts boiling. I just can't take it.
All right, well, we're out of time.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
But, I do want to mention one thing. We've got the fair starting tonight. The Highway Patrol, the entire duration of the fair, and the Sheriff's Department will have more deputies out on the road looking for people that drank too much beer at the fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't be dumb.
Yep.
If you got to tie one on,
you're going to jail.
Do it once you get home.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, well, everybody have a weekend. Yeah, have a great weekend.
You too.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for listening to the show, and we'll be back on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
All right.